Our story begins with Arthur Curry's origins, introducing his parents' love story. Atlanta, Queen of Atlantis, escapes an arranged marriage and seeks refuge in a lighthouse, where she meets and falls in love with a lighthouse keeper, Thomas Curry. They have a son, Arthur, who has Atlantean powers and the potential to one day rule Atlantis. However, their happiness is cut short when Atlantean soldiers come to retrieve Atlanta. To protect her family, Atlanta returns to Atlantis, promising to one day return. Arthur grows up feeling abandoned by his mother and begins to develop his powers. Volko, an Atlantean advisor and Atlanta's loyal friend, secretly trains him in Atlantean combat and teaches him about his heritage. Arthur can communicate with sea creatures, has superhuman strength, and learns to fight as an Atlantean warrior. However, he resents Atlantis for taking his mother away and chooses to live on land, using his powers occasionally to help those in need. Fast forward, and we see Arthur as Aquaman, a fierce yet reluctant hero. The first major action sequence happens aboard a Russian submarine that has been hijacked by pirates led by a mercenary named Manta and his father. Arthur bursts onto the scene, displaying his incredible strength as he takes on pirates. He overpowers them with ease, but when he leaves Manta's father to die, Manta swears revenge. Meanwhile, under the ocean, Arthur's half-brother, ORM, who currently rules Atlantis, plans to unite the underwater kingdoms to wage war on the surface world. He manipulates events to make it appear as though the surface dwellers are polluting and attacking the ocean, fueling resentment among the Atlantean people. ORM seeks the title of Ocean Master, which will grant him the power to command a massive underwater army and conquer the surface world. Enter Mara, princess of the Zeeble Kingdom and ORM's fiancé. Despite her engagement, Mara sees ORM's plans as a dangerous threat. She leaves Atlantis to seek out Arthur, knowing he is the true heir to the throne. Mara finds Arthur on the surface, urging him to challenge ORM and take his rightful place as king to prevent war. Although Arthur is initially reluctant, he ultimately agrees to help, particularly when Mara mentions a powerful artifact, the Trident of Atlan, which can legitimize his claim to the throne. Together, they embark on a global quest to locate the lost Trident. Their journey leads them to the Sahara Desert, where they enter an ancient Atlantean ruin. Here, they discover clues leading them further to Sicily. As they delve deeper into the mystery, ORM's forces track them down, and Arthur faces a fierce showdown with Manta, who is now equipped with advanced Atlantean technology provided by ORM. Arthur and Mara tries hard to fight off ORM's forces, but he failed as was captured and taken to Atlantis. In Atlantis, Arthur was chained by his brother and eventually challenged by ORM to a formal challenge, duel hoping to defeat Arthur and get the support of all 7 kingdoms to become the one true king. Arthur agrees to his challenge, believing in himself. Their duel stage is set, and Volko tries to convince Arthur not to fight, but Arthur persuades, saying he remembers all Volko taught him. Soon the duel kicks off, and Arthur faces ORM. ORM blames Arthur for the death of their mother and despises him a lot, telling him that if he loses, he should never come back to Atlantis. The fight started and both Arthur and ORM fights rigorously to the death, exchanging blows and wielding their tridents. As the fight continued, Mara intervenes and helps Arthur to escape from Atlantis. Atlanteans pursued them to make sure they are killed, but Arthur uses his powers to save their lives. They hid in the mouth of a whale and escaped. The battle with Manta in Sicily is intense, in one of the movie's most thrilling scenes. Manta, with his modified armor and weapons, poses a serious threat to Arthur and Mera. Explosions and close combat ensue as Manta relentlessly pursues them through the picturesque Sicilian town, using powerful Atlantean energy blasts and razor-sharp combat skills. Arthur is ultimately victorious, but realizes that Manta's hatred for him is far from over. Following the battle, Arthur and Mera continue their journey to the Trench, a dark and terrifying oceanic region populated by monstrous, savage creatures. This is one of the movie's most visually intense and eerie scenes, as the Trench creatures swarm them in massive numbers, clawing and lunging at them with relentless aggression. Arthur and Mera barely escape, diving into a hidden sea where they are astonished to find Atlanta alive. She had been cast into the Trench as punishment for bearing a son with a surface dweller, but she managed to survive against all odds. Atlanta guides Arthur to the Trident's location, which is protected by Trident, a colossal and ancient sea creature. The Trident of Atlan is more than just a weapon. It symbolizes the rightful king's claim over the ocean. Only the true king can wield it, as a test of strength, worthiness, and the ability to unite both worlds. Initially hostile, Kara then senses Arthur's connection with marine life and grants him permission to take the trident. With the legendary weapon in hand, Arthur transforms fully into Aquaman, embracing his destiny as the King of Atlantis. Meanwhile, ORM has gathered his allies and prepared his armies, ready to launch a war against the surface. Arthur and Mera, accompanied by a powerful underwater army, confront ORM's forces. The ensuing battle is colossal, with thousands of underwater soldiers, colossal sea creatures, and explosions lighting up the ocean. Arthur, now wielding the trident, can command the seas, and he uses this power to rally the ocean's creatures against ORM's armies. Massive underwater creatures, including giant crabs and war sharks, join the fray, turning the tide in Arthur's favor. In a final one-on-one duel, Arthur and ORM engage in an epic fight for the throne. ORM is a skilled warrior, and his relentless attacks push Arthur to his limits. However, Arthur, with the power of the trident and his newly found resolve, gains the upper hand. He spares ORM's life, showing mercy to his half-brother and proving himself as a compassionate leader. ORM, defeated, finally acknowledges Arthur as the true king. In the end, Arthur takes his place as King of Atlantis, bridging the gap between the worlds of the land and sea. His journey from reluctant hero to king is complete, and he promises to protect both realms, ushering in a new era of peace. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.